Buenos días, soy Natalia Sánchez de Spanish-Perfecto and I'm here to help you learn Spanish-Perfecto from level 0. Today it will be you talking about the past and we are also going to do some exercises together. Are you ready to start? ¡Empecemos! Before starting with the exercises, I'm going to reply to a very interesting question a listener made. Questions are always welcome as you all probably have similar ones. Some time ago, probably quite long ago, we talked about two ways of addressing people. In English, this doesn't exist, but in Spanish, we can address people formally and informally. Do you remember that? We can use tú to address someone informally, and we can use usted to address someone formally. If we want to address more than one person, we use vosotros to address more than one person informally, and we use ustedes to address more than one person formally. So, tú, usted, vosotros, ustedes. In Spain, we use the formal form to address people who we don't know, who have a higher status than us, who are older than us, but it's happening that new generations are losing this form. However, in other Spanish-speaking countries, they use a lot the formal form. So far, so good. But what happens when we need to conjugate this form, the formal form? Do you remember what we used to do? For usted, we used the form of él, ella, the third person of the singular. So if we say ella come for usted, we would say usted come. And when it comes to the past, él, ella comió, and for usted, the same. Usted comió. Entonces tenemos tú comes, tú comiste. Usted come, usted comió. And let's see what happened to ustedes. Ustedes, we also conjugated with the third person, but this time of the plural. Ellos, ellas. So let's do it again with the verb comer. Ellos, ellas, comen. Ustedes, comen. Ellos, ellas, comieron. Ustedes, comieron. Vosotros, coméis. Vosotros comisteis, ustedes comen, ustedes comieron. What a mess this. As I said in previous episodes, in Spain, you will be forgiven if you don't use this form. People will understand that Spanish is not your first language, and you will be forgiven for sure. And as I said, new generations are not using it anymore. Nevertheless, if you travel to South America, you probably will hear this form quite a lot. And it will be a matter of time until you get used to that form also. Nothing to worry about. Practice one form and then travel and practice the other form. I think it was a good question they made, because even though we studied it in the first episodes, we are conjugating more verbs and we never went back to those forms, and you probably forgot. So I think it was good time to recap this. I really appreciate your questions because they are always very useful for my podcast. Somebody gave me a good feedback about my exercises as well, and this is why I'm doing this today. I'm going to put out a few sentences to translate with all the things we have covered so far, and you are going to reply it yourself, and then I will reply it to help you and to check if you did well. Vamos a usar frases afirmativas, negativas e interrogativas. Interrogative sentences, I know they are more difficult to make up. Let's begin. Empecemos. Yesterday, Juan did not eat any fish. And today, he is not sick, but his friends are. Ayer, Juan no comió pescado. We don't need in Spanish to say any. So, ayer, Juan no comió pescado. Y hoy, él no está enfermo, pero sus amigos sí. And we can also say, pero sus amigos sí están o sí están enfermos. And if we said, pero sus amigos están, it will sound weird. So we need this sí. Pero sus amigos sí. 2 weeks ago, Juan went to the supermarket and bought these fizzy drinks. Fizzy drinks, refrescos. It probably comes from refreshing, refrescos, refreshing, refrescante, refrescos, fizzy drinks. Hace 2 semanas, Juan fue al supermercado y compró estos refrescos. When did Juan go to the cinema? ¿Cuándo fue Juan al cine? Usually after the question words, cuándo, cómo, por qué, comes the verb. And sometimes, we don't need the pronoun because we can say, ¿cuándo fuiste al cine? And we don't need to say, ¿cuándo fuiste tú al cine? So when we need to know who we're talking about, like now, we need to know, ¿cuándo fue al cine? But this question needs something else. ¿Cuándo fue? But who? Who are we talking about? So we need Juan. ¿Cuándo fue Juan al cine? So the pronoun will go after the verb in interrogative questions. Laura arrived late to the concert and she couldn't go in. Laura llegó tarde al concierto y no pudo entrar. What concert did Laura see? ¿Qué concierto vio Laura? Pedro was in the hospital to visit his grandma. Pedro estuvo en el hospital para visitar a su abuela. Why did you not wash the car last week? ¿Por qué no lavaste el coche la semana pasada? And here we have an interrogative and negative question. You, all formal, so you, a lot of people in a formal way, did not go to the museum. Therefore, you cannot give your opinion. In Spanish, it's a bit different. Ustedes no fueron al museo, entonces no pueden opinar. O entonces no pueden dar su opinión. Last year, they traveled to Finland and it was really cold. Therefore, this year they want to go to a hot place. El año pasado, ellos viajaron a Finlandia. Hizo mucho frío. Y este año ellos quieren ir a un lugar cálido. If you had a different answer, please write it down for me on Instagram or Spotify so I see your answers and I can correct it. Because I'm sure there are other ways of saying this. My friends and I did not have to say anything to get some free tickets. Mis amigas y yo no tuvimos que decir nada para conseguir unas entradas gratis, unos tickets gratis. But in Spanish we use the word entradas, like entries. What did you do last year during the summer holidays? ¿Qué hiciste el año pasado durante las vacaciones de verano? Where did you cook that paella? Addressing one person in a formal way. Where did you cook that paella? ¿Dónde cocinó usted esa paella? Did you talk to Pedro about his religion? ¿Hablaste con Pedro sobre su religión? And now you have two exercises. Translating this sentence and replying to the sentence. What do you think about these phrases? ¿Qué pensaste sobre estas frases? ¿Fueron difíciles? ¿Fueron fáciles? Please, if you have a chance to reply to this and let me know if it was too advanced or too easy for you, too basic. I believe making questions, it's a difficult thing in Spanish sometimes. Sometimes you just have to build an affirmative sentence and change the tone, and that way most of the time will work for us. If you want more of this, please let me know. For sure, we're going to have more episodes with some exercises, and I hope you enjoyed today. Y muchas gracias por estar ahí y hasta el próximo episodio. Remember, you can always contact me through my Instagram, Spanish-Perfecto, or my website, www.spanish-perfecto.com. Hasta pronto.